Hey, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to another episode of the Green Room. I'm walking through a little walking path here in Andover, Massachusetts. I'm on my way to a run of shows up in Maine and drove 6 hours yesterday. I got another couple of hours ago today. And then I'll be up in Maine tonight, tomorrow, and then drive back to another show in Pennsylvania on Sunday night. But welcome to the Green Room podcast. This is a podcast where I just chat about what I do and how I do it. And so today, we're chatting about let's see, last week's run of shows. I was in, now let me think for a minute. First of all, my name is Dave. Welcome to the Green Room. Good to have you with us. But now, let me think here. So, our last podcast, I talked about the first two shows, Friday and Saturday in Groton, Connecticut, and Galloway, New Jersey. Okay, so then Sunday, I headed over to Mount Bethel, Pennsylvania, and went to a place called Tuscarora Inn, which is a retreat center up in Mount Bethel, PA. Now, I don't know if you guys can, if you're listening, you can't see this, but if you're watching, so I'm kind of on this beautiful path here. Man, what a beautiful morning. Anyway, so I was in Mount Bethel, Pennsylvania in Tuscarora, and it's this beautiful retreat center in Mount Bethel. Now, I used to go here when I was a kid, so it was cool to be back there. I go back maybe once a year or thereabouts, and play a show or two. And so it was a really small crowd. It was their family week retreat. And I guess, I went on at like 9 o'clock on a Sunday night. So I guess by that time, everybody was exhausted. And so we had maybe 10 or 12 people there. But we had a great night of worship. One woman showed up from reading about the show online, and almost got a private show. It was kind of cool to be able to do that for her. So I'll be back there again next Sunday night, but it was a pretty cool show. Met some new people, sold a few CDs, and just had a great night. So then I finished that night and then drove up to Canadensis, Pennsylvania, which is to another retreat center called Spruce Lake Retreat Center. Now, this one, I had been here back in February for a 2-day retreat, and then they called me back to do their family week, which was great. So I led worship Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday mornings, and they probably had 150 people at their family week this week, I guess. So which broke down to about sessions in the morning, maybe like 60 people. And there was this great speaker there named Nathan Good, who's a pastor at a church in Pennsylvania. And so he was talking about stories and about families and how our stories are interwoven into our families and how it all just kind of blends, how we've seen these stories. He was preaching out of the book of Joshua, and how we've seen these stories throughout the Bible, and how they can kind of parallel themselves to us here in the 2026 era. So it was amazing to just be there every morning. I almost said I'm not a big fan of these types of events, but to be honest, waking up every morning, and if you've been to a retreat with me before, we kind of settle into a rhythm over the course of the couple of days we're together, or in this case, it was 5 days. And so you wake up, you spend some time with God, and then you worship. And to be honest, it starts to create a healthy practice of just being in the presence of God and waking up, taking an hour, because we're probably doing an hour to an hour and 15 minutes. And we were just worshiping, reading scripture, and just trying to understand a little bit about God, what God has to say to us. So I gotta say it's a nice rhythm to get into. So if you haven't done this, I highly recommend it. And it could just be in your own home, right? So wake up, take 20 minutes or so and worship a little bit, and then maybe dive into one of the daily devotions that I have. I've got over 300 of them, and you can dive into one of those and and just spend some time with God. I didn't really think about how we can do this, but maybe there's a practice that we can get into as a community where we do this type of thing. I don't know. Let me think about that for a minute and I'll get back to you. But it was great. So every morning, Monday through Friday, led worship. And then on Wednesday night, I drove south for a couple of hours down to Burlington, New Jersey, and played at a church called the Fountain of Life Center. Now, I had played there, it must have been 12, 13 years ago. And it was in this same room that I played that night. And it was basically, they do these Wednesday night worship events during the summer. And so I guess I was either kicking it off or part of the series, I'm not quite sure. But it was a great night. We had about 100 people there. Got a couple of kids sponsored. No, that night we didn't get any kids sponsored. But met some great people, reconnected with a bunch of folks. And it was kind of beautiful to just stop for a minute. Let me just I'm wandering around here. I don't know quite where I'm going. But it was kind of beautiful to stop for a minute and just worship. I didn't play any of my songs. It was a solid hour of worship. And so we, maybe it was an hour and 15 minutes. But man, these people were there was some points in the night where they were singing louder than I was. I couldn't even hear myself on stage because these folks were singing louder than I was. So it's kind of cool. Now, what do we got here? This is interesting. So there's some satellites. We could probably do a whole conversation about satellites and what those things do. We'll do that on another devotion. So that was a great night. I met a woman there who, she came up to me after and she said, "Hey, you probably don't remember me, but 10 years ago, you and I chatted after your show here." And she said I was in a really bad way. I was having a tough go of it. I won't get into all of it, but it wasn't great. And I said, well, I got to be honest with you. I meet a lot of people, do about 125, 150 shows a year. So I don't, but I said, did I have anything good to say? And she said, yes, you actually did. You had some great stuff to say, and I just really enjoyed the night of worship. And so I came back tonight. Just wanted to let you know that things are good. I've got a job, and things are going. And I said, well, that is great to hear. I'll continue to pray for you. So if you guys get a minute, just pray. I'm not even going to say her name. Just God knows who she is. Just keep praying for her, because it's a slow process rolling through addiction, recovery, just everything that we get ourselves tangled up into. So anyway, it was great to just hear a story like that. And so I drove back to the camp that night. And I'll include some footage, but I was stuck on so it was supposed to be a 2-hour trip back, but I was stuck on the Pennsylvania Turnpike because a car had, I don't know how, caught fire somehow and was literally burning and bursting into flames in the middle of the road. And so I was driving, and all of a sudden traffic slowed down, and then a cop car or two kind of whizzed by me. And like 3 cars in front of me, this car was burning, and that's when the police decided to stop traffic and take care of this. So I sat there for an hour. Life on the road, so glamorous. So I'll include some footage. Maybe we'll just put it right here. But yeah, so that was the drive back to the camp on Wednesday night. A lot of fun. And then Thursday, I led worship Thursday morning, and then Thursday night at the camp, they had a coffee house. And so I played that. It was an hour. Really nice. Really cool event. Just kind of hanging out with folks and singing. I did a lot of my own stuff, and I was talking to a guy after, and he said, I appreciate you sharing your story about your nephew Ryan addiction. It's hit my family as well. I said, yeah. And I said, every show that I play, pretty much I chat with somebody who is either struggling with it or has lost somebody to it, or has seen somebody come through it and survived on the other side. And so we chatted for a little bit, but he said, thanks for the work you're doing. Just appreciate it. It's just good. It's good to hear stories of other folks that are struggling with what you're going through or what you struggled with in the past. And so it was encouraging. And then Friday morning, I led worship there again, and then drove back to New Jersey. And sorry, this one's going to be a little long. And then Saturday night, I drove down to Ocean City, New Jersey, and got ready for a full day of worship at Ocean City Tabernacle on Sunday. So Sunday morning, I led worship. They have an 8:15 service where I sang some hymns. I did kind of a hymn sing, and then then 10:30 we had a contemporary service. And then I had the afternoon off, which was nice. I was able to, this is kind of beautiful. This is a campus here for some corporate office. I don't know what it is, but they've got a nice little pond here. And so it was cool to hang out in Ocean City. Got some Coors custard as always, and just ate a little bit on the boardwalk. And then Sunday night I played a show there. It was my headlining show at Ocean City Tabernacle. So it was fun. We had about 100 people there. I reconnected with some folks that I hadn't seen in a while, and got a few kids sponsored. And I love just playing this place because people there are just amazing. And there's a new leadership crew there. They're really awesome people, and they're trying to like, how do we reach the community more? What can we do? And so hopefully, we can come up with new ways to kind of make all that happen. But it was a great night. And I played Love Is, and I've been doing that lately on the guitar. And as I finished the song, I hit the last string, and no applause. And this woman to the left side of the stage just goes, wow. And there was almost a collective breath in the audience. And then they started clapping, and I went into that song, Hold On. But I was like, wow, that's kind of neat that a song could affect somebody in that way. Where, I don't know, there's something about that song over the last couple of performances where people are just like, because it starts out pretty heavy, right? Love has a price. Love isn't free. Love laid his life down for you and for me. So already, in the first couple of lines of the song, we're just diving into it. And then it just goes through. If you haven't heard the song, just go to to davepettigrew.net/love is, and you can check out the new lyric video for it. And then sign up for the app while you're there. But it was neat to hear that reaction to that song. Okay, I'm going to stop rambling because this has been a long podcast. But I appreciate you guys. Thanks for tuning in. If you want to become a part of all that we're doing, head over to jointheworshiproom.com. You can get involved in our community, get involved in our Bible studies, and all the content that I have. There's over, 500 hours of content there with Bible devotions and Bible studies and worship videos and just a bunch of great stuff. And, if you want to just get the music, if you want to listen to Love Is on the new album, Live the Love, you can just go to downloadworship.com and you can download the Dave Pettigrew app onto your phone. And then you have access to all 20 albums, plus some devotions, and all the podcasts are there as well. Okay. Thanks, guys. Appreciate you tuning in. Appreciate you being here. Thanks for the continued support. And if you want to bring me to your church or to your venue, let's talk about it. Just go to weworshiptogether.com and you can start the process right there. Okay. We'll see you in the next one. Take care.
Love has a price. Love isn't free. Love laid his life down for you and for me. Love's holding on. Love's letting go. Love is the truth inside of everything we know. And love is here. It's the light that burns in the darkest dark, the hole inside of the coldest heart. A million miles that don't feel that far. And love is, it's the missing piece that you're looking for, the hand that opens every door, the thing you want and you can't ignore. That love is all of this and more. Love leaves a light on. Love sings a love song. Love lets you in and makes you feel like you belong. Love is a long ride. Love always wants to try. Love hears every story, every time. It's the light that burns in the darkest dark, the hole inside of the coldest heart. A million miles that don't feel that far. And love is, it's the missing piece that you're looking for, the hand that opens every door, the thing you want and you can't ignore. That love is all of this and more. He's hanging there and love runs red and still he's holding on. Love still loves when all seems lost. Love won it at the cross. He won it at the cross. It's the light that burns in the darkest dark, the hole inside of the coldest heart. A million miles that don't feel that far. And love is, it's the missing piece that you're looking for, the hand that opens every door, the thing you want and you can't ignore. That love is all of this and more.